All right, hello everyone, and welcome to Zelda Speedruns. Today we have another Zelda 2 Randomizer Max Rando Tournament 2021 Swiss Round 4 between traiLZ and levelengine. With me on comms is Chroma. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm doing fantastic and hope you all are as well.
Yep, we've got ourselves a good match, Swiss Round 4, final round of Swiss. traiLZ and Level both undefeated so far in Swiss, but one of them has to lose today.
And this could go either way for sure. levelengine is one of those people who races trails all the time like me. And it's pretty split on who wins a lot of those matchups. trails does play a little more than everybody else. And I think does have a slight edge. But Max Rando, anything can happen.
Yep, indeed. This seed took a while to generate. The Western Hyrule did not want to get generated today for some reason, so we'll see just how bad it is.
Yep, like we're enjoying speculating if that means something about how hidden some things will be.
Is it? Because C2R usually generates pretty quickly. It's rare that it doesn't generate immediately.
Yeah, this took I would say 15 to 20 seconds as I was trying to generate it here real quick.
And yes, this is a Star Special. The Saha bot was at least working today because it wasn't yesterday, and I had to do the good old dot random and a bunch of pound signs to give them a random 8-digit number because the bot was broken for some reason. But we'll be going shortly. If it's zero gems again, jeez, because we've had a lot of zero gemmers lately. Yeah, that looks to be about right. Hopefully cropping should be more or less correct. And we'll be going shortly. Oh, did you pull up to see what they have, Chroma?
I did. I've got advanced knowledge.
Yeah. Oh, 2 lives, fire, life, load items is marked. And mountainous terrain. Yippee!
Everyone's favorite. It's the worst one, for sure. Oh my gosh. Yeah, the 2 lives and 2 hearts are going to be pretty rough at first here.
Oh, ow, yeah, 2 hearts, I missed that first time. And just a magic jar on Stonehenge is not great. And, sorry, I assume Level's audio is really loud. I turned him down a fair bit. Or them down, sorry, and I'll turn Chroma up a bit as well.
Oh, that's a good pea bag.
Looks like sorry was north of start. Death immediately for trails and the flute for level. And then it's up A for trails, sorry, I can't count. Keep track, sorry. Flute is a nice find for later. Trails is in one of P3 or 6.
And Trail's opting for early life investment as he's diving into this palace. I think it's probably a good move, just because you're so squishy in those lower life levels.
Okay, apparently I've got it backwards, so you're fine and I'm quiet, and then Level's audio is super loud. Let me fix a few things. Oh, okay, no dashboard's audio levels are really screwy from earlier, apparently. Hopefully this sounds better. Sometimes it's gonna be really screwy. Yeah, and 1 bar life spell is just oof. Good to know.
Well, when it's 50% of your life, that's one thing, but later in the game, that's not going to be particularly useful at all.
And it's 59 points at Magic 1, which is just... Ew. How's audio now, by the way, Chet? I do apologize. Birdo here, which has Reflect. That's a black spot for that, but it is at least only a 2-gemmer.
Ooh, some rough overworld encounters here.
Yeah. And traiLZ managed to pick up a 1 up there someplace, but this is still not great.
And this desert one is just the worst, where you have the enemy spawn right on top of you.
Yeah.
So avoid the graveyards.
Yep.
Wow. Can't catch a break.
No, not at all. And yeah, I was just gonna say, Lovely, you already have Fire. I'm not sure why they're in Saria getting the spell they already have.
Done that too many times. It's the worst feeling in the world. I mean, it's a bad feeling.
Yeah, it is. Also, that Saria is not a useful passer today. The other side of Saria is 2 tiles north. Across the world's smallest lake.
Feels like more often than not, Saria doesn't connect. It's the new River Devil.
Yep.
Timely life there.
Yeah. Yeah, I doubt either of these run is called the Mercy Roll. There's a small key, so that's our second junk item so far that I've noticed. Keeping that in mind, because we did start with quite a few items, and there are a couple in the default pool, but also heart containers might not be removed.
That would make things interesting.
Yeah, because in Max Rando, these 2 heart containers might be the only 2 heart containers they're getting today.
Mm-hmm. And there are worse things to pick up than a small key this early in the game when you don't have an exploration spell. Or never mind, what am I talking about? They've got magic key.
I was just gonna say Chroma.
Magic key. So okay. So if you're wondering about decisions I make in races, like this is where it comes from. I come by it honestly. It's it's not all that What is the word? I don't retain the information very long.
Happens to us all.
I lose my wallet all over the place, that kind of thing.
I distinctly remember a standard tournament last year, race where this whole thing took 2.5 hours.
Yeah, I think that might have been the first race.
It was an early one. One of my first times commentating Z2R. One runner completely forgot to check Mido, just completely forgot the whole entire, little part of the map that had Mido and the glove.
Oh,
eventually got
ouch.
the glove, left Mido behind for over 2 hours, and felt like an idiot by that point. The other runner, they found Router 20 seconds in, because it was right next to start. That had Thunder, and the other runner just forgot they had Thunder.
Oh no.
Just literally, straight up forgot Thunder was in their inventory on their pause screen.
Ugh.
And spent half an hour
happens.
wandering the map looking for a spell item to unlock it, if I remember correctly.
Ugh. Which you're not going to find, because it's already unlocked.
Because you found it 20 seconds in. Yeah, that was an interesting interview. Because neither runner understood it, because the person who forgot Thunder was the one who won the race. Mostly because their opponent just got so bamboozled by the map. But it still was a bit silly.
Yeah, there were a ton of new rando players in the standard tournament.
There were.
And that made for some exciting matchups along the way. And adding to the community is always nice.
It is. Trails and Level here, though, are two of our more veterans. Makes sense, since the two of the veterans would go 3-0. Yeah, there is a hammer block cave near start. There's a heart container for Trails. That's a good find. I think he looks pretty happy about that one.
Oh yeah, that's huge based on how much just even tiny amounts of damage are making a difference.
When you only have 2 hearts, everything kills you. Also, at this point, I started to wonder about what their progression is. I've seen most of the items in the West at this point in the overworld. We are missing a bunch of palaces. We're missing 2 palaces, though. I don't believe we've seen a town of we haven't seen Rauru or Mido, to the best of my knowledge. And this map's throwing me for a bit of a loop.
Well, it is mountain, isn't it? So...
yeah, I'm not sure if it's mountain or just vanilla-like, because it's a little less mountainous than the typical mountainous biome. It's kind of hard to tell.
Yeah.
Usually mountainous is a little lousier than this, but yeah.
Well, Trails is going through the jump cave right now, it looks like, so possibly finding his way to those other missing locations.
Yeah. Oh, and I see another hammer block cave in the northwest corner there for level. I get the feeling that this Western continent is segmented today, but I'm not sure where the other segment is. Because we are missing a lot of locations, but there doesn't seem to be that much. There's only so much of the map that exists for those locations. Oh, death for level. I do seem to be getting at least the occasional 1-up drop, because I've seen them both die and still have 2 lives left.
Yeah, I think that is true. Which is really nice in a low life seed.
Yeah.
And you might actually plan around some.
Oh, okay. We've got a caldera.
Caldera.
Oh, and we have here Palace 5 in the caldera.
The color of my hair.
Is it actually?
It actually is, yeah.
Huh, because you usually wear a hat. I have seen you with face cam, but usually I think wear hats, so I haven't noticed.
There it is. Thanks, Aaron.
Ah, neat.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
So it looked like that was a dead end in the caldera. There, it was just the palace.
That's impressive. I'm not even sure. This starting area, I can't even tell if this starting area is to the east of the caldera or to the west of the caldera. Yeah, that is a absolute dead end. There's P5 and nothing else here. And I'm not even sure where the starting area is related to this caldera, because this map's being a major troll. I figured there was something missing to the eastern continent and to about the western continent because we're missing stuff. Well, we've located one of our missing palaces. We're still missing 2 towns. I don't think we've seen a single continental connector. And,
There was a town north of the caldera.
There was, but I've got no idea how to get there.
We saw Trails dive into the fairy cave at one point. I didn't see which direction he entered that from, though. So it could be the Parappa cave.
Yeah, I know the caldera is usually center-ish, but the part of the map they started in is almost the size of a usual western continent by itself, but the caldera didn't have any obvious links to anywhere. Like, this portion of the west that he started is pretty big. It has this yellowish palace, I'm not sure which one this is yet. Either 3 or 6. It has both Rudo and both sides of Saria, but it hasn't turned up much. Yeah, this it took quite a while to roll. Like, it did not generate immediately, it actually took a good 20-30 seconds, you said, for you, Chroma?
Yeah, it was about 20, I would say.
Yeah, it took me longer than that, even. I eventually gave up on it, because I was like, something's funny here. So that makes me wonder what happened to this. And okay, fire is reflect. Convenient.
It really is, for especially a hallway like this. You can manage something like this with downstab fairly easily, but without... I mean, you still have to tank a couple of hits.
Yeah. Those get the Doomlocker down, and then takes it down. Ouch. And that's actually game over. Oof. On the other hand, it's this or Palace 5, I think, right now, because they've seen everything else they can do. They've explored the overworld pretty thoroughly, found a bunch of things that isn't a hammer. I've seen multiple hammer-blocked caves. I'm guessing one of those is a connector someplace useful. Because I think we're starting to run out of things. I am unsure what level's doing with Wizrobe's experience. Magic 4, fire is 29 now.
Oh. Yeah, hard to say whether or not more should be invested in life at this point.
Yeah, because with so few hearts, no matter how much life levels you have, there's only so much to be done. Yeah, it's okay, saw some windows on traiLZ side, this is P3. Kind of It's rather, odd yellow color. It's not the worst shade of yellow, just kind of eh. As a hi, Cousin Catnip raiding with a party of 1! Welcome in! Got ourselves a Zelda 2 Max Rando Tournament race between traiLZ and levelengine.
Big party. Great emote.
Oh, and we're outside. Always a bit startling when you get one of the open air rooms.
This is a dead end room.
This is because I actually haven't seen this one before.
It's gonna be a key or a bag.
The bag, which actually isn't too bad in this situation.
No, it really isn't.
Yeah, Wizrobes are the dripper enemy. Also, yes, thank you for utilizing one of our newest ZSR emotes, BXR. ZSR LOL! ZSR LOL, ZSR Lurk, and ZSR Stare are our 3 newest emotes.
I need to dip for just a second, I'll be back.
Yeah. Might be, honestly, Clem, if it is a 200-pointer Wizrobe dripper, that would be very nice indeed. Hey, Nightcrawler! Got ourselves a fairly horrendous 3-gemmer. No problem. Max Rando means that the settings are randomized to Cousin Catnip. So in this case, they have random number of hearts to start with. In this case, 2. They have found 1. The number of palaces they need to beat is randomized. Today it's 3. And the map randomizer is pretty nutty. Yeah, we've got ourselves a fairly horrendous 3-gemmer. The Western Continent's map is absolutely god-awful. And it's pretty much down to this and Palace 5 for progression. I have seen an impressive amount of the Western Continent. It is a caldera. And we found that out by surprise. It's not visible at all from the... We start in a part of the Western Continent that's frankly enormous, that has 2 towns and palace. It has Rando Saria and Palace 3, which is what they're in right now. Giant area, but and then we found one pass-through cave that took us to the Caldera, which had Palace 5 and a dead end. And they've seen every item cave they can so far. There are 2 hammer-blocked caves out in the west someplace, as we see Rebanak for Trail. Downstab's not currently accessible, and we haven't seen the item in P3. That makes me worried about where progression is. Because I don't think it's in logic to do Rebanak without downstab. There's also the concerning fact that this seed took like 20 or 30 seconds for Chroma for it to be genned, because it couldn't generate a Western Hyrule. And I'm starting to wonder. I think I see why. Because this one's not great. Back, Chroma?
Yes, I am back.
Yeah, Nightcrawler turned up in chat and it's like, what the heck? And it's like, what's up with this? Well, really awful map.
Okay, so one of the hammer caves, I just decided to pull the seed up real quick. And one of the hammer caves there is connected to nothing. Like it's connected to a pass-through. And I'm gonna see if I can find a path to the north real quick.
Yeah, so I guess we can't do a prediction. Do we get a Mercy roll? Because this is looking pretty miserable. These 2 guys are not people who want to do Mercy rolls, but this seems so far been an absolute train wreck. Also, from what we would prefer to just find out on stream rather than find out from you.
Of course. I'm not going to spoil. I just want to know that there's an option.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a very quick prediction as to whether or not we'll see a Mercy roll, because there's only 10 minutes on this, so I've given the prediction 2 minutes. Oh, it's highly unlikely Trails calls for it, but jeez, this map is awful. I mean, why not Lost, pretty much? Yeah, Lowell's decided to give up on P3 for the moment. Honestly, understandable. Trill is continuing to plug through. Trill saw a Rebanak, by the way, Chroma.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. Died to it, so, well. Yes, since C2R Max Rando can get pretty brutal, and this is a fairly awful seed.
Sorry, did you say he died? He died to the Rebanak?
Game over.
He did. Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah. Everything is so, and sometimes C2R gets some really, truly, just miserable seeds, and this is up there for miserable seeds. Just how bottleneck this is, really. Yes, since C2R can get some pretty miserable seeds from Max Rando, there is the opportunity for runners to, before the half hour, within the first 30 minutes, to request a Mercy roll to get a new seed because they think the current one really sucks. And wish to play a new one. Yeah,
I think we're probably going to see. We're probably going to see an item behind a boss, and our boss options right now are not exactly attractive. With downstab-less Rebanak and Guma.
I don't think downstab's even in logic without downstab.
It might be. It might be. I'm not sure. There's no reason why you can't beat Rebanak without downstab. It's just not convenient at all.
No, and I don't know if that's in default logic. These guys both know how to do it. But yeah, they do have 8. Can it? Thank you, Lemon. That's just blech. So yeah, Rebanak, downstab was Rebanak and Guma are our 2 bosses. And just generally, P3 and P5
is so rough. with the low heart levels, the useless life spell. Oh.
At
You
least they're
know,
getting 1-up drops.
these are two good players to get those conditions, though, I have to say.
Oh no, that's a fairy block for level in P5.
Oh my
That's
gosh.
not a good sight. Rose is back on Rebo. They do at least have Fire Reflect. That's about the one good question, quote-unquote, things about this seed. And that's relative. I believe Fire it costs 29 at Magic 4. When you only have 4 Magic Bars, that's a lot.
Oof. It's really rough taking damage in the early stages of the Rebanak fight without downstab. Because as soon as he gets up off that horse, there's too much noise on the screen, and you can't always see the beams that he's throwing out.
Yeah, there's still TrailZ is still at attack 3 and I'm not sure trying to survive long enough to get another level is a problem at some point on low health seats like this one.
It's doable. It's definitely possible. Just takes a lot of patience and safe strategy.
Yep.
Oh, that's the moment. That's the hardest moment of the whole fight.
Yep! As Nightcrawler in chat said. Yeah, no, I highly doubt we'll see an actual Mercy roll in the next 6 minutes, but this is the kind of seed where some runners would perhaps call for a Mercy roll, because this one is fairly dismal. Yeah, another round of 3 and extra trails.
Oh man, he's down to that last hit again.
Yeah. Oh yeah, trails would definitely try 5 before calling a mercy roll. Yeah, this seems just miserably bad.
And it looks like Level hasn't exhausted all the exploration options in 5 quite yet.
No, not yet. 5 might. They're both terrible in all honesty. And TrailZ is trying.
So I think what they're really looking for here is a hammer.
Yeah, because they're too.
That might be the only way.
Frosty. We've got ourselves a very miserable 3-gemmer. They're stuck between Kalos 3 and Kalos 5 for progression, and I'd agree with you, it's probably a hammer chroma, since there are 2 caves blocked. Lost tomorrow's the race where we have, tomorrow's when we have 2 races. Races an hour apart, not today. Well, yeah, yes, this one is not ending sub-hour, I don't think, at this rate. How long do they usually take? Max Rando can enter from like 20 minutes to 3 hours. 20
minutes is super fast. I don't think I've seen one quite that fast, but
usually like
right 30, around 30.
Yeah, like 30 minutes to 3 hours generally. These guys usually sub 2.
Oh wow.
These guys usually sub 2, but this is not sub 1ing at least at this point.
Yeah, Lemon Kitsune's on it. You get into immediate GP, find Dark Link in your first branching path.
And actually, yes, Damon, thank you for pointing that out. We've been distracted by these guys dying a ton. Yeah, that happens, VXR, that happens. Continued misery. Hi, Guma, for...
Oh, no.
Oh, boy. Attack for Guma, everyone. Hopefully
he
it goes better
can
than
do it. He can do it.
Hopefully it gets better from, hopefully it goes better than attack 3 downstabless Rebo. Yeah, Guma started with 1 less bar of health than normal, so a little bit sick. Not seriously, though.
Oof.
Ooh.
That's all it takes.
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah, that's a one-shot Goomba. Ow.
More often than not, especially on these lower heart container seeds.
Yep. Usually with the Z2R, there's one of three things that control you. The map, the items, and the health. Today the items are fine, we started with almost everything. It's the map and the health that's proving to be a problem, as that's a game over for Level.
There it is. But I think Level knows that there aren't options. There really aren't, and I'm thinking we're gonna find both of these items behind bosses.
I think so. I think they've tried everything that isn't the boss in these respective palaces.
And I guess the one saving grace for that is that you know that your competitor is going up against the same nonsense you are.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. Because it is blatantly obvious in this scene that you are this bottlenecked. And there is no avoiding it.
Well, at least Level knows where they're going now. And that's helpful.
Phil's also game over to Rebo again. I believe he's heading back again. Level's also done a sizable amount of exploration in P3, but decided to not try attack for downstabbless Rebo. Is instead trying a about as equally bad P5. I don't think I think that both of them are pretty equally miserable. I think quite possibly, yes, the real jam they might have wished. They do have another 20 seconds or so left to call the mercy roll, a bit less than that, actually, because race time's a bit behind, but yeah, they are not having a good time. I've seen 6 jumpers progress faster than this. They do, Lemon. And yet, Mercy is gone. We are past the point of no return. They're stuck with us, everyone.
Alright.
We're in for the long haul, everyone.
I'm honestly excited. Because I think that, like, they make it through this, then they're going to come across a few things that will make the rest of the seed so much easier, and then eventually they're just going to jet.
I hope so. They have to get there first.
Best is yet to come.
Yep.
traiLZ is handling this. This is fine.
Hey. Alright, well yeah, traiLZ is... Yep, there we go. Rebo's down. Woohoo! 31 minutes in, we finally have one of the bosses down.
Oh, close enough to that level.
And still looking for that item.
Ooh, that is a dead end room.
Oh, ow! That's a ouch. But where's the item in P3? Because I don't think we've seen it. He's explored P3 very thoroughly and hasn't found the item in here.
I just saw that comment, Clem. That was hilarious.
I mean, I'm not the only restreamer in chat right now. We do have also VXR and Lost, as well as Sizzle, who doesn't actually have the role just yet. That's a hilarious looking room for Level.
Very elaborate ornately decorated bed chamber
Yes.
with a little doll resting on a bed.
Ah, so that was the item in P5?
No, it was just one of the small item rooms.
Ah, yeah, lost track of it. Because that was,
Trails found
yeah.
the item room, though.
Yeah, Sis, we were discussing hey, finally have enough points. We were discussing Clem's comment about rolling a seed. And you are a, restreamer, although you haven't quite gotten the Twitch, you haven't earned a mod yet. Yeah, I can put a prediction of who wins, because I forgot to do that earlier. Hey, there's the hammer! There's the hammer for Trails.
Alright. I think the cave we didn't see earlier was Parappa Cave, so quick path up to the north area, the northern part of the west here.
It guaranteed is huge with how bottlenecked this seed is, to be quite honest. There's only... They've literally run out of all other progression besides Palaces 3 and 5, so... that's...
I think Level is about to face some pretty big disappointment, even if they do get past Guma here. Because the item is not going to cause progression.
It might,
at least
but we
at
don't
this
know.
stage.
And hey! We have ourselves back in the north, finally! Rauru has Fairy, that is a very nice find.
Excellent. Fairy means downstab is coming.
Yep. Yeah, Trill's just dug up a hammer out of P3. There's no Wi-Fi here. There's Guma down for level, nicely done. This has not been the easiest of times.
Patient fight.
It is a gem, if nothing else.
It is. That means only 2 left here, and again, very close to the level. And this is the item room.
Yep.
I saw this for the first time earlier today. That's Horsehead.
Oh!
With some Guma spritage.
That's a funny sight. That's a new one on me.
It's like the Rebo Shark, but different. Special.
And there's a medicine. We don't know where Midna has just yet, so that could be good.
That could potentially be our Thunder spell. And that would be kind of huge, because there's not going to be a ton of incentive for TrailZ to dig Palace 5 if he's continuing on to other continents here.
Well, he's going to get do good to go beat P4 first, which is very sensible.
Yeah, that fire spell being linked to Reflect is a good thing to have when you run across P4 this early.
Yep. And alright, Level is gonna head for P3 now, because yeah, they've run out of everything else to do in the game. Not even they kinda ran out,
knowing...
literally ran out.
Knowing what your next move is always a good thing.
Yep. Like, Level knows there is nothing left in the game to do besides this. Go east to find the boots. Okay, thanks, game. Not the worst hint, but, not what you want to see right now. I guess
where that could come in handy is if you have a location that's blocked that you know you need. That came up in something recently.
Yeah. Alright. Yeah, Level kind of just exploring, but trying to figure out what did they miss, because they need to go back to P3, and they should be here, I hope. Yep. Or not. Okay. Hoping to find other progression. Unfortunately, we know that there is no other progression. You have to dig P3.
Yeah, Level spent a ton of time in P5, and it's likely that on getting hung up on Guma that maybe just had to refresh the memory of what the layout of the land is like there.
Also, that was a P-bag in P4 there for TrailZ. Ouch. Not good.
Not ideal, but It doesn't look like he went out of his way to get it. It was one of those item rooms that's on the way.
On the way. There is that, but I still have to wonder. I'm wondering what our... Well, we have to see what the northern half of the West looks like to see what our progression is from here. Because GP is not in the West. We have seen all three palaces. Great Palace is not one of them. Ooh, and that's enough for trails. Fire is paired with Reflextrosy. The Wizard Robes at least are giving 200 points each, which is a good amount of experience.
Yeah, that's pretty solid.
In the meantime, as prompted by Lost, give our runners a follow. traiLZ and levelengine. Shoutouts to my co-commentator Chromaticalism, also a runner in this tournament, and to our tracker Royale.
With cheese.
And I think Level's gonna go try and find Reebneck. I'm not sure if Level found Reebneck the first time around, but knows that there is no other choice, and you have to go to Reebneck. Have to go to the item at least, because Level's seen everything else they can do in the West as of right now. Not game over for trails. Level's going in the right direction for Rebo, I believe. And there's Mido, which has jump. Probably not required, but that might come up.
Jump is one of my favorite spells to have in GP.
Yeah.
There's enough places that can be blocked, and there's just enough exploration that is so much easier with it, especially on a low life seed like this. Any of those waffle rooms becomes so much easier to explore with the jump spell.
Absolutely. So that could be good for Level. Press down, you idiot! Nice flavor text on downstab for trails. Ooh,
I think my favorite one is press up to go indoors for upstab.
Guma stands on the medicines.
Oh, that's actually huge for trails who did not
right,
dig.
I forgot. Yeah, spell hints exist.
So, I doubt he's gonna take jump, knowing that.
I doubt he digs that P5 for it, yeah. We'll see. Alright, one of the other item caves here for trails. Let's see what this is. Just a 1-up. Ouch. We are continuing to see junk items. Okay, that's as far east as you can get on the west there for trails. Just currently trying to figure out the map. Bit of a lake here. And there's the fountain, which is, shuffled vanilla?
Vanilla shuffled.
Ew.
Ew is right. Bane of my existence, vanilla shuffled Death Mountain.
Yep. So, time for trails to go explore that. As a level just picked up a hammer. Woohoo!
Good job. So, this actually now just became a lot closer.
Yeah, because level did dig P3 earlier and still remembered much of the layout, so isn't as far behind as they might appear compared to trails. Didn't beat Reebneck, but we'll see if that matters. It has beaten P5, which is a gem, not crystal brain. It is a gem, really slow gem, but a gem. Yeah, level might go back as downstab. This vanilla shuffle DM's not being particularly fun, and I forgot that command existed. I will update that. That is not correct. We have a 3 gem seed today. Where is that? Okay. That's And hey, trail's found his way out of there. It is currently trying to find Hammer Cave. There's... what's this spell? Fairy for level. Helpful connector for trails, really helpful. Also, that Spectacle Rock location's god awful. That's a dead end Spectacle Rock cave. Ooh, there's Maze Island.
And the east with it. Oh, it's a vanilla east.
Ooh, fun.
Potentially vanilla shuffled, but I don't think so. I think that's just vanilla.
I think, yeah. No, all the palaces have pedestals to place gems in, and they can pick one choice to do. I believe level's currently in P4. I bet there's a raft tile too.
So 2 different ways to enter the east then, with that raft tile. Not one any more beneficial than the other, except that they don't have boots, so that does give access to 2 different parts of the east.
Yeah. And yeah, another heart for trails is very good to find. Not necessarily. It is a sometimes in these settings, statement. Oh, we don't have a pom-poms command.
It was worth a shot. I guess I could use my words.
Heart containers CP. And there's P1 in Maze Island. That might be a dig for later. Usually one of the shorter palaces, and probably nicer options than a better idea than P4, I'd say. But it depends on this. It really depends on the palace.
Yeah, I think
trails up again.
Was that both?
Yeah, there's both items: heart container and a 1-up in Maze Island.
Heart container 1-up. Nice. Yeah, and P1 is a good choice. Whenever you can take it, it's good to get in there.
One of the shorter palaces, generally.
Mm-hmm. Even if you see all the rooms, it's not so bad.
Rich reddish purple here. I do quite like this shade. Actually, I'm not entirely sure which palace level's in, actually. Just check.
I believe that's P4.
Oh yeah, that is P4. I look at the columns. Like, for me for a little bit, that's P4. Phil's tried this earlier, did not find Karak and bailed. We'll see if Level finds Karak.
So, Zero, which pom-poms were used? That's the question I have. Not whether they were used, but which ones.
I believe they were hammer and gloves in the day. Here's help Horsehead for trails. Pretty quick P1.
Now that's what Horsehead is supposed to look like.
Hammer and cross. Ah, thank you. That is a pretty quick, quick second gem for trails. First gem was...
Ooh, this is an item.
Ooh. No,
Bonus Horsehead.
Horsehead. I actually haven't seen mini boss blocking items before, but yeah. Forgot.
This is the third Horsehead of the seed, and the second one blocking an item.
Yeah, this seems funny.
And he's not checking?
Really?
Or he's gonna do that and then go check? Or not check? I don't know.
I'm confused.
Whatever.
That is life 6, and he's out of here. Well, I assume traiLZ at this point is going to go make his way to the east. Not that I can remember, lost.
That's possible.
It is. traiLZ found the item room in P1 Sims, but didn't actually get the item. Yeah, same, Aaron. In the meantime, yes, this looks like just a straight vanilla east. That's a because especially with that placement of that vanilla raft tile, as levels continuing to explore P4.
Oh, Clem, are you getting at that thing that happens sometimes where the item gets inadvertently picked up? It's like whenever it's a jar or something like that in those rooms. Like it's possible to have the item despawn because like there's a sound that plays. Yeah. Okay, so maybe that's what happened. We don't have traiLZ's audio on.
Speaking of audio, how does it sound now? I know it was pretty bad earlier and I tried fixing it. Who picked these flags?
Started.
Yeah. Well, I rolled a seed and that's it turned up. Yeah.
Oh, then Alan did.
But yeah, I guess vanilla. Yeah, with East being just straight vanilla Nibiru's and its vanilla locations. Yes, I actually haven't seen just straight vanilla before. There's the Eastern P-Bag Cave, as leveled, does DP Karak. Second gem at 49 minutes. And I don't believe have we seen the item in P4 yet?
I believe that one was a P-Bag.
Oh, yeah, there's a P-Bag, yeah. I know, I mentioned it and wrote it down in my notes, then forgot. Brain! There's a trophy in the Eastern P-Bag Cave for traiLZ.
I don't know if did we see what that unlocks?
Reflect, but it's
tied to fire.
So, alright, Level is gonna find Death Mountain and eventually make their way to the east after checking out this item cave, which was nothing particularly helpful. Yeah, traiLZ is not going back to the west anytime fast. He does not want to get back there. I remember that one. Cave was a jug for Level, and yep, went up. traiLZ exploring the east now, so, the vanilla map always screws with my brain, because Randomizer tends to make you forget the vanilla map.
Yeah, I was gonna say that traiLZ might have the advantage with the vanilla map, just because I know he's run some vanilla categories pretty well. I'm not sure how much Level has done the vanilla game. It's entirely possible they have.
Level only just now got only just now found Nito because the map was pretty awful. They literally haven't found Nito until just now.
And part of that is digging the palaces around the way. It was an interesting choice not to go and do Rebanak right away, because if Level had, then they would be in a position of having 3 gems placed.
traiLZ, by the way, in the meantime, did find a magic jar in the other Eastern Continent item cave.
Did traiLZ clear Palace 4?
No.
I know he dipped in for a moment.
Did not kill Karak, I know that much.
Okay.
Yeah, also, yeah, level did have the ability to get jump, which could change things depending on how GP decides to be mean today. Yeah, I thought as much that traiLZ quit out after out of P4. And level's heading west in the northern part of the western continent. And this is Death Mountain right here.
Nice 500 points blue Liz Alphos there.
It is nice. traiLZ finding his way to Nukasudo. Nearly forgetting to check the spell, which is Thunder. And that remains that the shield spell is in Darunia today. Doesn't even 7 jars is an ouch for the item. Hopefully it's not required. Level's hoping that they don't need to go dig Death Mountain, but they're gonna find out real fast. Boy, this is really expensive. Is it? Didn't catch the price.
I didn't either. Well, traiLZ is essentially in go mode now. It just has to place one more gem, but there's nothing preventing traiLZ from being able to go and complete the game.
Yeah. Whereas level it hasn't quite gotten to the east yet. There's the boots in Nukasudo. Go figure, that's where the boots is.
That could be the GP location, the Ocean Palace there. The boats would be required to get to that.
Boats?
The boats, the boots. I mean, boats makes more sense. But that's clearly not what it is.
Yeah, I was like, Alright, level sticking out this Death Mountain. It is pretty linear. Still get there eventually, but it's gonna take a couple minutes. Yeah, at this point, traiLZ is
good
so...
point.
True. Yeah, traiLZ definitely in the lead. Just level spending that much time digging out Palace 5 unless jump is required. Gonna be a... is the real difference between the two today is that traiLZ dug out P3 and went east, level dug out P5 then P3. Which costs quite a bit of time.
And both of them, because of the game overs that they took in those palaces, had to dip in several times. So they were pretty tied to that play.
Yep. Yes, it is. Potentially CP, as there's P6, a very pale color today. Into a rock. So the palace locations are vanilla, but which palace is in each location is randomized, if I remember correctly. Well, in this Palace 2 is in GP between the other two. Island Palace in the Valley of Death.
So grinding levels with enemies like that is an option. You would have to respawn them again after you've killed them, and I believe that only happens if you've entered a town or gone to a town, a palace, or a separate continent.
Yeah, which is rather inconvenient. traiLZ is deciding rather smartly that it is time to dig P6. Hey, Starfall! Bad pun!
Excellent pun. Well done.
In this case, traiLZ is ahead. Point in terms of levels, this is a life level behind. Life and I think a magical, life magical behind level, but is ahead by. This scene was a pretty brutally awful start. There's Barba. I love when it's open air. It's always a funny sight. That is not a joke in. That is not a running thing in C2R. Mostly in Wind Waker Rando. So our next pom-poms are pun pom-poms.
Can only hope.
Alright, Level will be getting their third gem here in P1. It's a pretty quick palace. As traiLZ deposits his third. No worries, This is, by the way, our newest streamer here in chat. Got recruited a couple days ago. Yeah, everything is randomized. This is Siz's second time watching Z2R. I think was shadowing us yesterday as well for Alan and Para, but yeah, it's certainly a change of pace. Z2R from Wind Waker Rando, and even ALTBP is quite different. Yeah, it looks like traiLZ is hoping that so there's a 50-50 on GP between Island Palace and Valley of Death, and also traiLZ might want upstep from Darunia, which is why traiLZ is not currently going. Also, just Valley of Death is really slow. So this
this is definitely the faster path. So may as well.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll see, is GP the Island Palace, or is GP Vanilla in the Valley of Death?
Vanilla in the Valley of Death sounds like a novel.
But it is Level's third gem, not that far behind, all things considered, placing the gem. And, well, we'll see how well Level remembers the Vanilla Eastern Continent, that was the bigger issue. And that's P2! Well... yeah, GP's in Valley of Death.
Well, what a way to finish, huh?
Yep.
Vanilla GP.
Because of course it is.
Will we see upstab blocks?
That is a good question.
There it is. Yeah, so that's what traiLZ ran up against, and that's why he knew to exit in that item room.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, that's a really quirky looking item. I had never seen that room before, so that's neat.
It was something that early in the 4.0 we thought was a potentially game-breaking glitch, but it turns out that it is only those, what do you call them? Replaceable items. Like it only happens when it's a jar or a bag.
Alright, and Level sailing east. Happy 1 hour, everyone. Ooh, lag! For no real apparent reason. There's not that much going on, I don't think, but lag for Level. Hey Tannerin, miserable 3-gemmer, really miserable map. These guys in the west, very rough health. They start with 2 hearts, 2 lives, and died a lot. It came down eventually to having to dig Palace 3 or Palace 5 for the hammer. traiLZ dug Palace 3 exclusively, found the hammer and went east. Level dug Palace 3 for a bit, decided to nope out and go P5. Did get medicine, which has turned a gem. The medicine leads to jump, which may or may not be relevant, but is otherwise behind due to spending the extra time in P5, and then going P3. Both palaces were disasters.
And
very
Tannerin,
long, very hard. They died a lot.
my definition of disaster is going to be a minor inconvenience in the grand scheme of things. Just some hard stuff. Hard stuff in the beginning. They made it through. We're all here. We're having a good time.
Yeah, we're having a good time. They might not be. Alright, we'll see what level may or may not. Maybe just gambling that it is a vanilla GP and that it is not on the island on one of the other two palace locations. Although we'll see. Yep.
I bet level checked the 3-Eye Rock location just because it's so easy to get to.
Yeah. So yeah, by Rule Day Classic Star Special. We cannot use traiLZ's audio. He has his mic on and also has custom music playing. So we would prefer to stick to levels vanilla of game audio, no music, no additional music audio. Cheers GP for traiLZ, 10303. Well, a little more, well, 10303 on his personal timer. 10305 for the restream timer. Yeah, no worries, JR Dad. Let's see how this GP holds up. He might have, Aaron. This first waffle looks perfectly fine. And then, hi, chickens! And there's another chicken! Fantastic. Oh, this second chicken's spicy too, not dying to that thunder immediately. There we go.
No jump spell, and no upstab. I didn't realize that he was without upstab and jump. That is risky.
He didn't bother making the trip to the room yet. Ooh, jump scare from the big bot.
Chicken and waffle.
Yep. Level looks like it's heading for New Kasuto now, which is a good idea. You're not exactly wrong, Aaron. Ooh, and that's a death for a level. Needs to not game over in the east, because getting back here is going to be really rough.
Oh, total nightmare.
Well, never mind, because there's Dark Link for traiLZ.
Wow. Oh, and Level is on his way too to GP.
Yeah. Yep, no Thunderbird for them today. And there we go, GG's to traiLZ, finishing first, 106.01.
Yeah, big GG's. That was that was some pretty tough stuff in the beginning, but kind of the traiLZ special, right? Difficult enemies and not a lot of life to deal with them right up front.
Yep. So GG's, we will get traiLZ in for an interview in a minute, and I think Level is probably just going to finish out the seed, I guess. Isn't that far behind, actually.
I think they do tend to finish out every seed, so may as well.
And yeah, they're also not that far behind anyway. Just need to get to GP, which is here. Looking to Fairy Feet. There we go. Right, so yeah, GP time for level. traiLZ will be joining us shortly, just needed a quick break. 107.10, thank you for the entry. 4 minutes behind.
There's the jump spell. No upstab though. Gotta use alternate means.
Yeah, very short GP, which is a mercy after how long the seed start was.
It's only fair.
Alright, let's see how long level spends in here, because traiLZ got sparkling pretty quickly, but it involved a bunch of elevators. There's the big bot jump scare.
Pretty conventional routing though for traiLZ, so I wouldn't be surprised if level takes the same path and finds Dark Link right away.
Well, we'll find out. I'm gonna take this elevator up. And up. And down again. That's the correct method.
That is the correct method.
And hey, traiLZ, GG's.
Hey, what's up, guys? Thank you.
That was a seed.
Yeah, that shit was terrible, dude. And then to top it all off, GG was last location, and then on top of that, it was a pretty... I mean, Thunderbird wasn't required, but looks like level's headed in the right direction now. It was a pretty shitty GP. Who made it in there first? Did I or did he did?
No, you did. The main difference is you just dug out P3 in one trip, level did P3 for a bit, and then went to P5 for a while, and then went back.
Yeah.
It was rough. He had to take down Guma on attack 4 with no down stab, and...
One hit KO Guma at that.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I decided to not do P5. I saw P5, and I was like, nope. Because if Guma was guarding the hammer, I wanted to at least have like another attack level or two, and...
Yeah,
you know,
Rebo wasn't any good either, so...
I was really like confused when I went behind Rebo and the item wasn't there, and then I got really scared when I found the hammer so easily. I was like, oh man, level found this, 20 minutes ago. I didn't leave P3 until after the 30-minute mark.
Yeah.
And that was like, I don't know. I might have gotten lucky in Death Mountain. I don't know how his Death Mountain routing was, but I feel like that I got pretty lucky there.
You guys routed it pretty similar, actually.
Yeah, I don't think level took too long in
No,
Death Mountain there. Yeah, that choice though, like take care of Rebanak, take care of Palace 3, and then get up out of there was the right move. And I think you like really got confirmation of that when you got the hint about the Water of Life location being Palace 5. And then it's like confirmed, yeah, good thing I didn't do that.
GG's got to level 110.55.
I was a little bummed out because I liked the jump spell, but I wasn't about to go backtrack and go all the way up into Palace 5 to go looking for it.
Yeah, Palace 5 was about as bad as P3, by the way.
Oh, I bet you it was worse. Palace 5 is almost triple the amount of rooms, and it's about double. It's about double the amount of rooms, and Guma.
Right.
Yep.
A level did spend fair amount of time there. I think the difference in the times I don't think quite reflects how much time level spent in there. I think he was really...
Level didn't go to New Kasuto and spend a little less time in the east generally.
No, yeah, they were catching up in the end.
Did he?
The lead was enough.
Did he go up and check the water tile and check that palace?
No, just the 3-eye rock, and then
he went to Vod.
Yeah,
because when I went to New Kasuto, I got the boots, and then I was like, that could be required. That could have really easily been required. So I got the hint for the boots being on the east, and it was the last item I found, but it turned out to be a dud.
Yep.
I think there was a magic container there, but didn't really help me.
Alright, I'm gonna drag level in now.
Routing wise, I think it was a move that made some sense in that like it's probably a shorter walk to get back up to the Ocean Palace than it is to get through Valley of Death, and then potentially have to go back through it again.
Yeah, going
And of course,
going Valley of Death and then having to turn back around would have been a way bigger time loss than it would have just, going through the 3 Wilson encounters.
Yeah, pretty high risk.
Hey, level, GG's.
Thank you.
Yeah, GG level.
So what did everyone think of this seed?
That sucks.
I didn't like the beginning, but once I got out of P3, I felt like it was pretty smooth sailing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, just getting started on that seed was really rough.
I had to pick between Palaces 3 and 5, and so did you.
Yep.
Yeah, I saw 5 and I decided to not do it, but I did spend a good 15 or 20 minutes in P3. It took me about almost 10 minutes to even do Medicine Cave. Like, I had a really rough early game, but,
Got the Medicine Cave way quicker.
Yeah, I bet. I didn't get... I don't know. I kept on... I think I took 2 game overs in Medicine Cave. But at that point, everything 1-shotted you or 2-shotted you.
With a super useful life spell as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
And not just that, Fairy stayed expensive. It was 58 when I went into GP. I don't know how much it was for you, but
58 still probably, or was it 39? I don't remember if it decreased the cost on it at Magic 6.
Yeah, I would be surprised if it didn't. Magic 6s.
Probably did drop in Magic 6.
Where were you able to get all those experience points at? Was there... There was some 200 point Wizards, and I mean the red Iron Knuckles were 150.
50.
Yeah, I think that was probably a lot of the grinding there. I mean, really, levels didn't make much of a difference except in that first area where you were grinding and getting prepared to dig palaces in the first place. Like, that's where the entire run was.
Because that was the only choices you really had early on.
Yeah, either P3 or P5, and no downstab, no shield spell. So, I don't know. How many times did you game over?
Too many to count.
See, I got 15. I got 15 on mine. I just checked. 15 up and A's and game overs. And I guarantee you 10 of those were at the very beginning at Palace 3.
Yeah, you guys both had a really rough time. The Palace 3 and Palace 5 were just nasty, because that Western Continent map was horrid.
Yeah, it gave you everything except for what you needed to progress. And it was kind of like either choose this terrible situation or choose this other terrible situation.
Yeah, I picked between 2 dismal palaces. Level, you dug P3 for a bit and then decided to go P5 instead. Any particular reason?
I don't know, it seemed like Palace 3's first couple of rooms were very difficult to consistently get through. On 2 lives, mind you.
Yeah.
Yeah, fire being like the reflect was really helpful though.
Surprisingly, the unlikeliest of heroes, the reflect spell.
Yeah, we saw it first on that one bridge that had the what is that guy called, the Doom Knocker on the bridge there in Palace 3. There's just no getting through that without the reflect.
Yeah.
Being there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And plenty other rooms like it where I guess you take what the seed gives you and you run with it.
Yeah, seeds like this are pretty bad when in a race type of scenario. In a casual play, like a seed like this is kind of fun, but like in like a race type of scenario, like it's really anxiety ridden, nerve wracking because it's like oh man, did my opponent go left and find the hammer immediately? I game over at one room before the hammer, and
I never decided the entire seed almost.
What's that?
The hammer decided nearly everything, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
That was the item this time around. There's always something, and that's what it was this time.
Well, when did he get the hammer? Because I got it around the 30-ish minute mark, 30, 33, something like that.
It was later. it was later for sure because you finished P3 before level finished P5.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then level kind of went straight to P3. There was a little kind of getting bearings again in the west, but then going to P3 and got the hammer pretty quickly at that point. But it was several minutes after.
And who was expecting like a Death Mountain after that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's the worst. But I mean, I got pretty fortunate in Death Mountain. I ended up taking the right path the first time.
Did, pretty much.
On the right path fairly quickly too.
Yeah, I remember noting that Level Engine was entering Death Mountain. I had forgotten Death Mountain was like the barrier to Maze Island in the east. And I looked up and you're already through. So yeah, I think you both handled that part of it or got lucky with that part of it either way.
Yeah.
There's one thing I wanted to ask about real quick. First of all, there were 3 horse heads in this seed, and that was kind of fun, including the reskinned one. There was a horse head behind Guma that had his sprite all over it.
Oh yeah.
All 3 of those horse heads, by the way.
Yeah, you did.
I thought
the
2
horse head had like what? Nothing behind it?
No, the one had a magic jar, but you can hear it when the horse head is exploding. It picks it up for you because I guess it counts it as an enemy on the screen. I don't know, so it disappears
For you.
But yeah, you can hear it. If it's a P bag, you'll actually get the experience. That's how I know it was a jar, because no experience yet.
I was thinking magic container. That's weird.
Yeah. When the 4.0 Rando got released, people were experiencing that. We all thought it was the dash spell that was causing it, because we were entering boss fights coincidentally every single time with that dash spell casted. And and we were confused because the item wasn't there, and it's like, oh man, is that like a required item? Then later we found out that it's just a useless small item like a pea bag or a jar, and nothing that could
really didn't need whatever was in there to actually finish the seed.
Exactly. It's nothing that would be required to beat the seed. Not even like a magic container, just like a jar. Like a red or a blue jar or a pea bag of some sort of denomination. And I just found out recently, a few weeks ago, that when it picks it up, if it picks up a pea bag, you actually get the experience for it off screen, which is kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
I remember beating a
Okay,
horse.
where did this 1,000 points of experience come from?
Yeah, exactly. I remember beating a horse head and being like, wait a minute, I just got 500 XP off of that. That's not right. But then being like, oh, it must have been that pea bag. So that's cool.
And because it's a pick, it's not a despawn necessarily. It's a pickup, and if there is a normal item there, it'll be there, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
I think there's only been one situation where an item didn't show up with the new rando, and that's because it generated the desert tile as a different tile, and it I don't know, it spawned only part of the desert square and not the part that had the item on it. So there was a glove that was on the desert tile or maybe it was a pair of boots on the desert tile that you couldn't get because it was off screen. So and that happened early on, and I haven't really heard of anything like this. This has been a pretty stable release. I mean, you hear about bugs every once in a while, but I remember
I might have heard of like 2 or 3 seeds being impossible since 4.0 came out.
I remember when 3.17 came out, there were stuff like you would blow the horn at Three-Eyed Rock and a palace would appear, but you couldn't enter it. I remember the first
that's not good.
The showcase, there was a few things that happened. There was that, and then you would hit the Nukasudo tile, go into Nukasudo, and then when you left the spell house where you get the spell from, it would like warp you to some random tile on the map. It was really strange. But yeah, that stuff.
I call it randomizer.
Yeah,
That's what I call random.
just kind of puts you wherever, and it was pretty interesting. But those bugs got fixed. Some patches got released really shortly after, and this one has been really stable, considering all of the things that happened with it. Because like, you know, it added so many stuff to the new rooms. Randomized three-eyed rock, randomized Nukasudo tile. All
More
sorts of
palace after the boss rooms and not just always like the palace exit.
yeah, exactly. And this has been one of the more stable releases that I've seen.
The new logic checks that have to be made to make sure a seed is still possible.
Yeah, I think that's really cool as well. How it actually takes you through the seed making process. When you generate a seed, it's kind of like generating West, generating Maze Island, making sure the connectors work. You know, Big Shake had mentioned early on that it does that behind the scenes when you generate a seed, but actually seeing it in like real time, going through and doing it's pretty cool.
Yeah, he made a good thing. I like it.
Yeah, he did a great job, man. This new randomizer has got to be some of the most radical and changes that I've ever seen. I've only been around for about 4 years, or a little over 4 years, but
Still a long time, isn't it?
what to be in the Zelda 2 randomizer?
4 years.
Yeah, it's a long time, but you know, there's some guys that have been around for 6-7 years. They were around when, like, you know, the beginning of the randomizer, like the very first beta test, and they got to test it the very first time.
That far back.
Yeah, and they, you know, I think 2015 is when it all started, something like that, maybe 16. And you know, it was like really just basic randomizer settings, but they've watched it grow from what it was then up into what it is now, which is like, you know, this crazy beast. Boss rooms ending up in elevators, and you know, Dark Link in an elevator. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
This stuff was probably thought to be impossible back then.
Yeah.
But I still would like to see the downstab guy in Death Mountain, or like somewhere random, in like an item location. You go in there, but instead, you know, there's no item. It's just the downstab guy. Or if you find the trophy or the medicine or the kidnapped child, when you pick it up, you get the item or you get the spell immediately instead of having to do all that fetch quest stuff. That'd be kind of cool. There's an option that removes spell items, so you can just talk to the ladies and they'll give you the spells.
That doesn't get turned on often, doesn't it?
It doesn't, but it's a pretty fun flag because, you know, it takes, you know, a lot of fetch questing out. It adds a couple more P bags into the mix. But if you were to pick up a spell item and it automatically just give you the spell, that'd be really cool.
Would. I didn't even realize that setting existed, actually.
Yeah, it's on. I forget. I think it's on items. Remove spell items.
Mm-hmm.
Underneath the items tab.
And it's unchecked as part of these flags because it doesn't look like something that can be thrown into the random. It's either on or off, it looks like.
Yeah, and what it does is it replaces the spell item with like a P bag. Excuse me. But yeah, I don't know. And I like the new Winter Solstice rooms that were added. That's pretty cool. The new GP room.
More rooms in the future.
Oh yeah, I know. Probably like once or twice a year, they're gonna hold probably like a room creation thing, and that'd be cool. I wish I knew how to work the editor or however they make those rooms. I think they use the
Z2
editor.
side view editor.
I think so. I don't know. Yeah, I think it's called Z2 editor. It's whatever CF made that's in the. I think that's what they use to make the rooms with. I know they at least play test them in there, but when they had me, yeah, when they they were telling me, hey, check this room out, and I'm like, man, I don't know how to use this thing, man, and I'm still confused. I tried to get it to open up, and it's like can't find FCE UX emulator, and I'm just like, man, don't you guys have a different way I could play test these or make a room or something? I don't know, but yeah, man. I'm interested to see what this tournament's gonna unfold to be. Like, Bro City Saint, surprisingly, is 1 and 2, and Chroma, you face him next round. What do you have to say about that?
Turning the tables on me here a little bit. Yeah, I'm kind of anxious for that race. Like,
So you mean
Bro
1 win
City
and 2
Saint,
losses?
Yeah.
he has got 1 win and 2 losses.
1 win
Yes.
and 2 losses. I've never seen that before. He's usually the guy dominating, but these
Usually you two are the ones 3-0, level pulling at 3-0.
He should absolutely be in the tournament. That's the main thing I have to say about it, and being in the position of facing up against him when he's basically on elimination is not a position I'm super happy about being in. Because
Yeah.
I'm competitive in the sense that I like to do well for my personal performance. But yeah, Rose City Saint deserves to be in this tournament for sure. So I'm
Very
definitely going to be
standard
doing my
champion.
best. But if
So
all
when
is
is the
right
match
with the
against
world, I will
RCS?
lose that matchup.
9 p.m. Eastern Thursday.
Oh, you guys have it all scheduled and stuff?
Yep.
That's cool, man. I wish you luck. He's definitely a tough opponent. But yeah, I mean, I have I feel like that you probably have a little bit of the edge because you're more practiced up on the Max Rando flags. You've done a lot more practice and racing with these new settings, so I think you have a little bit more of a understanding about how things work with the overworld and all that. But that still doesn't count him out, man.
Not at all.
We had a 6-gem seed, and I think I got like a 56 or a 57 on it, and he was only a couple minutes behind me.
Yeah, you guys were close.
I don't know who this Top Life guy is, though, but this Top Life guy really put the screws to him.
Top Life I remember from ALTTPR primarily. More in that I remember the name. I don't remember much of Top Life's skill level in ALTTP, honestly, either.
Nobody's ever heard of him before, and he just randomly joins this tournament, and he's beating, the standard champion, just, willy-nilly.
Yeah,
Unusual,
pretty impressive.
almost.
What's that?
Unusual.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I checked it out. It was a sick race. I mean, like, he played just like any professional or, any person who's very well versed in Zelda 2 would play. I mean, he didn't do anything like weird, anything that's like really suspicious. He just played the game and played it better.
Really well.
Yeah, I mean, he just,
yeah.
It wasn't anything that was like really like, something to. It was just like he looked like if you or me or Chroma or Rose City Saint, like if one of us were playing, that's exactly how he played. It wasn't like it was odd in the sense that it's just like, who is this guy? I thought it was Buzz Thunder, in disguise.
No, Top Life. Yeah, I was surprised to see him in this tournament because I had seen him play ALC2 either in the slightest. Just vaguely remember the name from ALTTP, but pretty good apparently. So like, should be interesting to see how he does.
Yeah, I heard his interview, and I'm like, that's not Buzz Thunder.
Yep.
But I don't know. GG level. I'm jump off here. That was a seed worthy to be the 3-0 versus 3-0 last round seed.
Yeah.
I feel like it was like that was like a finals level. But definitely.
This was just for better seating, wasn't it?
Yeah, we're both in the brackets. Obviously, we both got in week 2, but yeah, this is just I don't know, for street cred and better seating, I guess. I don't even know what that means. What does that mean? Like I get week 1 off or something stupid like that?
I think
know.
yeah, you get week 1 off.
Maybe it would be more likely if an odd number of players were in the tournament brackets.
Yeah, I think there's going to be an odd number. I can never keep track, right? So, both of you, Top Life and Coper, Chroma, one each of Zardex, Nilner, and Zerkins and Circuit Breaker each have one moving on. Math is hard. Yeah, I think you probably will get a buy traiLZ as top seed. Hard to tell. Depends on how many people actually end up in brackets, which I think will depend on whether or not you win versus RCS, Chroma.
It's gonna be a really small tournament. It's like probably like less than 10 of us, definitely. Probably like 6 or 7 of us are gonna be in the brackets all together.
Yeah, I mean, let's see. Yeah, you're so. I mean, yeah, like you level Top Life, Cooper, Chroma, one each of Zarnex Cylinder, 2 out of Zarnex Cylinder, Jack Miss Victor. Then I think Alan and Para are both moving on, and then maybe RCS if RCS pulls out a win tomorrow. 10 or 11.
Oh, going to be in the brackets?
If I'm counting correctly, yes. How many people are going to be going at least 2 and 2?
Okay, that's better. Yeah, because
3.
I feel like there was only like 15 people that entered the tournament or so. It
14.
14. It wasn't really that big. I remember the first Max Rando tournament that we had. It was like 30 something people. And it was pretty interesting. Nobody really was used to those flags. I played them every single day. I would race 5 times a day. Like I wasn't working at the time, and I was just at home bored, and I would be in the Discord calling people out for races every single day. They called me traiLZ bot back then. Pretty funny. But yeah, versus City St. Night, we used to race at least once a day. Like we'd always race around 1 in the afternoon. And then a guy, Ryan Sevens, he's in the Zelda 1 randomizer community, but he used to race Zelda 2 Rando a lot. And, I don't know, it was different back then. Back then, you could get a race all the time because there was people itching for a race day for the weekly. There was always people that were lined up getting ready to that were anticipated the weekly. So like even the weeklies, you'd go in there in the room and there'd be 10 people, you know, and you could ask for a race basically any time of the day, any day of the week, and there was usually somebody that would be like, yeah, come on, let's go. But since, you know, a few years ago, it's just kind of dwindled down. I guess people lost interest, or I don't know.
There's a lot of options out there.
Yeah.
There are some weekends where like the weekly race is canceled because there's like only one person that shows up.
It's just which is really unfortunate because my schedule changed like right as soon as the weekly changed. Like I put in for it to be changed to Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and like a week after they changed it, they were like, my job was like, hey, we need you to work Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and I'm like, damn it. So, I can't. Unfortunately, I can't stream from where I work at, but otherwise I would.
That would be like its own issue.
It would be like a what?
Its own issue, most likely.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. But, yeah, I really miss those weeklies, and I'm surprised not many people, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, Level and Victor are our 2 most consistent. Chroma turns up once a month, Alan turns up once a month.
Yeah, if I could, I'd be there every week. If you... Man. That was, something that I really looked forward to every week. But I try to like, because I don't get the weekly. Like
Mhm.
I try to look for races during the week. A lot of times, just random times during the day. You know, I don't get upset if people ping me in the Discord. If someone really wants to race and pings me in the Discord, I'm down to race. Usually whenever if I'm around and I'm not doing anything. Chroma and I race. We haven't raced in about a week or two, but you know we used to race every single day. So
Yeah, up to the tournament.
yeah, but I don't know. I'm usually down for a race if I'm not doing anything. I'm usually.
That's you all out there. He's asking you. He's saying, guys, come and race.
Yeah.
Get in on it.
Basically. I don't know. It's
Yeah.
at the very least it's practice. I think racing is fun, and it's different. It puts like I play. If any of you guys ever see me like stream during the day, I play Zelda 2 Randomizer casually. But when you racing Zelda 2 Randomizer, it's completely different. You know, you got your, you know, you're trying to play fast. You're making split-second decisions. You're not, you know, willy-nilly going through the seed. You're kind of like, okay, shoot, I need to do this. I need to do this as fast as possible. What's my next move? Kind of. Whereas when you're playing, you know, of course, when I'm playing during the day or whatever, I'm still trying to beat the game fast, but it's not like, you know, it's not like I know that I'm racing somebody else, so I need to do this fast. It's just kind of like, you know, let me see how fast I can do this. It puts a different, I don't know. I used to be like addicted to the adrenaline of racing, and I would just, you know, I would try to race as much as I could every day because it was still kind of new to me. And I don't know, I was really down with the race. I love the competitiveness of it, and I love just the adrenaline and like the rush you got from just, you know, being in Great Palace and looking at the racer and seeing if anybody finished, you know, or losing. I used to be really bent out of shape if I lost, but you know, I kind of just like, whatever, it happens, you know. I ended up getting over it, but like I used to be so competitive to the point to where like if I lost, I'd get like really salty about it. I don't know. I mean, it still sucks to lose, but you know, it used to be like, you know, a huge letdown. Like I couldn't believe I lost. You know what I mean? But I don't know. But I mean, at the same time, it's like, you know, I started off with Zelda 2 Randomizer, like I kind of jumped in with both feet back in 2017. And I don't know. I wasn't really a Twitch streamer or anything like that. I started a Twitch stream so I could race Zelda 2 Randomizer specifically. I joined the Z2R community. I wanted to join the weekly, so they got me all straightened out with a stream so I could get on the weekly races. And then after that, I decided to start joining tournaments after I got a little bit better, you know. I used to suck at this game. I remember my first seed took me 3.5 hours. Everybody finished at like the 90-minute mark, the 75-minute mark, and like I'm still playing, and I'm like, what the hell, dude? What did they do? And then I watched what they did, and I was like, wow, okay, I gotta play this completely differently.
See, I'm glad you're sharing that, because there does seem to be this impression that there's like, oh, there's too many good players. Like that doesn't look like it's something I could do. But if you're even like mildly interested in doing it,
yeah,
it takes doing it and watching other people and learning. But like the process itself is super fun.
Yeah, it is super fun, and it took me almost no time at all to become comfortable with, you know, and finishing fast. I got pretty good pretty fast, and there's all sorts of tools out there. I mean, the randomizer itself has all sorts of like, you know, knobs and stuff like that you know, you can basically set the randomizer to as difficult as you'd like it to be, or you know, as as free as you want. You can make, Link invincible. You can make all the enemies die in one hit. You can start off at attack 8. Or you can make it so you die in one hit and enemies, take max damage. There's like literally like, just different settings that you can make it. And there's also like boss rush hacks, floating around on the Discord where you can practice your boss fights and stuff like that. And, I don't know. I'm pretty hopeful at some point the community will grow to be bigger than what it is. It's a really fun game to learn and to play, and don't let other people seeming like that they're better or really good deter you from trying to learn. It's it's not that difficult to learn, and use that as motivation to learn. Because I watch people like Yunus play Randomizer, and I'm like, man, I remember thinking, what's the point of me playing this game if I'm gonna lose by 60 minutes every time? And then I remember people just telling me, man, you just gotta go fast, dude. And I didn't understand. And then I watched back some restreams, and I'm like, oh, okay, I get it now. Maybe I don't need every single hard container in the game. Maybe I can try to go without the candle. Maybe I don't need every single. You know what I mean? When you start to trim off the fat, you know. I remember my last race, I didn't get upstab because I knew it was going to cost me 90 seconds. I think that was against Rose City Saint, maybe? Or was that... I faced Rose City Saint race week 2. I forget who it was last week. But anyway, like, it was you, Chrome, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was
you.
you.
Man. That feels like a long time ago, but yeah, that was me.
I skipped upstab because I knew that was going to be 90 seconds. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And if it's really convenient, if I'm walking past the upstab guy, like, to go get a spell, I'll consider it. But, like, I'm not going to, like, not enter GP because I can't find upstab. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. Just a little stuff, being able to calculate, like, all right, well, if I skip this, like, I save 90 seconds. Or, like, hey, I'm missing a town, but, it's the life spell, so it's not really that important. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
There's certain things you need to beat the game. That's Thunder and the Glove. And down stab a lot of the time. Makes it a little bit easier. But, like, Rough Light spell, Thunder, Glove, and Fairy are, like, really the only things you need to beat the game with. Unless it's not a 6
And then whatever the seed gives you that has some block in there somewhere, like a flute or a boots or any of those things that pop up along the way. But yeah, I think it is good to keep those basic things in mind so you don't get too caught up on just, well, there are locations remaining, so I may as well check out the locations. Like, if you don't need to, then don't do it.
Yeah. Or, like, take the gamble. Sometimes that's the fun part about racing too, is, like, there's the gamble aspect to it, which pays off sometimes it doesn't. I've had it blow up in my face a bunch of times where I'm just like, I'm good, and then I find out that Great Palace is underneath Three-Eyed Rock and the flute was on the west, and I just completely skipped it, and Rose City Saint found it, so I'm forfeiting, and he finished, half an hour before I did. But a lot of the times, man, if I get Thunder, Fairy, and the Glove, and I don't have to play 6 gems, I'm in go mode. Like, that's the mindset that I have. And with these flags, Thunder's not even, Thunder's not even required that much. I mean, it is and it isn't. Like, tonight it wasn't, but, like, sometimes... And that's another gamble. It's like, is Thunderbird required?
Right.
I don't know.
Well,
but, like,
it was a good race tonight.
Yeah, it was a great race.
Really
Yep,
cool,
sorry,
really cool
some
speed.
review is going
Good
on.
job from both racers. We're gonna wrap it up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm done. Thank you guys so much for everything, and you guys
Yeah,
have a good night.
GG's Trails. Good
Thank
luck
you.
in
I'll see you
brackets.
guys. Yeah, I'll see you guys next week or in 2 weeks, whenever they roll the brackets. I'll be around for the next race.
Yep, thanks, Trails.
Sounds
GG's.
good.
Hey, thank you guys for everything. Have a good night.
Have a good night. Alright, so, yeah. Looking ahead at the schedule, this is it for us. It is nearly midnight Eastern. Coming up on the ZSR schedule, we have at 1 p.m. Eastern, tomorrow/today, depending on your time zone. Twilight Princess 90% tournament. Losers bracket round 1 between KCOT and KM Keaton. We have at also 1 p.m. Eastern, a Link to the Past No Major Glitches tournament. 2021 Group N between Verts 505 and Chelsea X Lynn. 2 p.m. Eastern, we have the Ocarina of Time Randomizer Standard Tournament Season 4 Challenge Cup Brackets Round 1 between Wooly and Arthur Houdini. We have at 3 p.m. Eastern another Link to the Past NMG Tournament Group P match between Rob J. Beasley versus Kelpsy. And then we have 3 Z2R races tomorrow night. At 10 p.m. Eastern, we have Ghost Dunk versus Dr. J. PhD. Also at 10 p.m., we have Jack Miss versus Victor Santa Fe. And then at 11 p.m., we have Eleanor versus Zarnax. Those will be some good matches. Exact free streams will depend on what our volunteer situation looks like, but that'll be coming up soon. And then Chroma here will be facing off against RCS on Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern, as previously mentioned, along with various other races throughout the week and weekend, as you can see on our schedule. Shoutouts to both of our runners today, traiLZ and levelengine, to my co-com Chromaticalism, and to our tracker, also Royale with Cheese, for keeping up behind the scenes and making sure we know what the runners have. That will be it for us tonight. So we're going to go over and say hi to my friend Tiris, who is currently doing some Ocarina of Time Randomizer Random Settings League 1v1 race with Emo Soda, kind of the OTR version of Max Rando. So we'll see how that's going. And thanks for watching, everyone. Have a good night.
Good night.
Thank you.